Friends too.
Nice. Christy's over here. God, those are some good pictures.
They really are, though, and I think that every week. I just watch that video as it plays, and I'm like, yeah, I like it.
I know, I do too. I'm like, yeah, those are pretty good.
Don't juice her up more than she already is.
It was all positive. She's over here flipping me off like I was saying something bad.
Sorry, I won't compliment you anymore.
Pretty good. So what's going on, gentlemen?
It's another Wednesday night, man. Let's talk about something important that I saw today.
Okay.
Slayer is no longer farewelled.
Oh,
of course.
They never do.
They are going to be playing the Louder Than Life festival.
Oh, ironically, I've got Louder Than Life
also with Motley Crue, who's also no longer farewelled.
Figures.
Who
does a one farewell? Come on now.
I don't know which one. There it is.
Sadly, Kiss has not been farewelled long enough so that they will not be on the Louder Than Life tour.
So heartbreaking.
No, I mean, really, we need to talk about this. Motley Crue signed in blood. What's happening? What's the punishment?
I know, right? Well, the punishment is like Vince lost his voice, maybe? I don't know.
How did I know it was going to go straight to Vince Neil?
They kicked Mick.
It's a given.
Oh,
I don't even know where to go from there though. But
yeah, really check out that lineup. That's pretty amazing. Which one was that?
It's a freaking ridiculous lineup. I was looking at it earlier and I was like, oh my goodness. Like every single person is a hit. Like everyone.
Body count. Christy pointed out it doesn't say with Ice-T. So we're not sure if Ice-T's going to be there. You know he's going to be there.
He has to be.
Body count exists without Ice-T.
Exactly.
I mean, we got Skillet, Clutch, Fozzy, Hailstorm. Shit. It's like one of those things where it says it gets worse the longer you look at it. This gets better the more you look at it.
Yeah, because even if you have minimal music like knowledge, at least like draw a halfway line at the middle. Everyone above that, most people will know every single name.
Oh, 4 days. Little fuckers. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yep. All weekend plus one.
Yeah. But really cool. Really cool.
Oh, yeah. Why? My mouse is super laggy for some reason. It's kind of annoying me now.
God.
I shot them a message to make sure that, you know, we're still on and stuff, so we'll hopefully hear something.
So Christy wanted to let everybody know that she's covering Mr. Big on Saturday, which is really cool. Really thought there was no way, but looks like she gets to cover that. And then Thumpasaurus. Do you remember Thumpasaurus?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, Charlie posted a video of him one time. Can you find Thumpasaurus?
Thumpasaurus.
That's where this is going tonight. That's what's happening.
Yeah, stroking.
I'm scared. I'm scared to even have that in my search bar.
Dude, but
It's gonna be so fun.
I think they would be fun.
That sounds like a adult video.
Well, we're all adults here, Ashton.
Not me. Hell no. So what am I? I got a whole bunch of stuff.
Stroking.
Strutting?
Stratton, yeah.
You're getting too excited about some perverted stuff. You're stroking. Oh Lord. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, yeah. Make it big. Make it big.
Let me get. There's like an intro to the video. Like it's a cinematic video.
I know, but we want to see that.
Oh dear.
Yeah. See?
Okay.
See?
So. Viewer discretion advised.
Thank you for putting that out there.
He wasn't going to play the beginning.
First and foremost, just a warning: if you're a child, look away until the music stops. Maybe.
Bro, you're gonna get us flagged on the faces.
And I hope he wears that tomorrow.
Oh, shit.
Here's my strut, do-do-do. Strutting my way on over to you. You like my strut? I like yours too. Strutting my way on over to you. You like these days got nothing to do. Get the sidewalk, you strut.
Okay, you probably, yeah, I was going to say.
I'm gonna leave the rest for imagination. Oh my Lord.
After searching some of their other catalog, it all seems to be similar.
Let's see what they got on their YouTube.
What's
It's
wrong,
not
John?
Cute, terrified lipstick makeup. God. What do we got? Strutting. I'm pissed. Oh my God.
But anyway, yeah, I think they'd be a good time if you're a girl, I guess, or like assless chaps.
Jody Rowe.
Jody Rowe. John, you look like you've been violated. What? Why?
I feel as though I've been violated.
I warned everybody. I warned everybody.
Oh, shit.
I'm so glad that's in your search history, though.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's gonna screw up all your
not.
playlists.
Yeah, every algorithm I have just out the. I say that I have Steel Panther and Wheeler Walker Jr. and Psycho Stick. My algorithm's already screwed.
Who is it that came out of the egg?
Crowbot.
Crowbot. That's what it
Oh,
kind of reminded
God.
me of. Is fun like that? Goofballs.
Came out of
Yep.
the egg. That was
Yeah, he has
that
this
was like-
big egg on stage, and
that was Mork from Mork and Mindy.
that was Mork from Mork and Mindy. You don't know
Right.
who Mork is.
Y'all have shown me.
Nano.
Oh, Lord.
Oh shit.
So what other news do you have?
Yeah, I'm kind of upset I'm not going to the Mr. Big thing, but I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would probably be a good one that I'm not going to be able to see either. So I get it.
Hey, same.
Yeah.
I get that. That's that's one of those where I was like, they're not really anywhere close to me, but within like 5 hours.
That's close.
It used to be to me. I used to be
Right.
it's not that far.
That used to be a
5
weekend.
hours? Yeah, that's just a drive down the road. Now I'm like 2 hours. I don't know
Tulsa's
about that.
rough too. I'm just that's an hour and a half.
Exactly. That's why I'm happy the one set of family we have in Tulsa now comes down here all the time.
Do what?
The one set of family that we have in Tulsa, they come down here all the time now. So I'm cool with that.
Looks like Sepsiss is here.
Right on.
Sweet.
Hey.
Welcome.
What's going on?
Guys?
We made it. We did it.
It's all right.
Right on. We were shooting
Sorry
the break,
about that.
and Ashton was playing terrible videos for us. So
By request. It's on my search history now, so I don't want to hear it.
So have you guys ever heard of Thumposaurus?
Randy, do you want to kick off the introductions and get us rolling?
You bet. Hey guys, this is Randy, and I am in Oklahoma City.
Hello, Randy.
Yo, what's up, Randy? What's going on, man?
Not much.
I'm Ashton. I'm also out here in Oklahoma City.
What's up, Ashton? Nice to meet you, man.
What's up?
And
You
I
too,
am
bro.
John. I'm in Topeka, Kansas.
Nice to meet you.
You guys are global.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, Randy asked me how I found you guys earlier, and I said, I really don't know. Like, I was in the rabbit hole going through bands one night, and you guys popped up or something. So I started following you guys, and like a month or so ago, we did our year-end recap, and we started talking about some bands we would like to get on, and
Yep.
I mentioned you guys back then, so I was like, I need to get that message out because I want to talk to them.
Hey, I really appreciate that, and you know that's really an ageless, amazing value and treasure. You know, the discovery of music isn't quite the same as it used to be. I mean, people now are suggested music. You have all these gadgets and
Right.
gizmos, and which is nice, but there's still something special about kind of, you know, going through the record stack or bumping into somebody on the street or word of mouth, or just, we don't always need to know or have to be in a trend to discover something great. Some of my favorite songs are the B-side on an album. It's not the one that was
Damn right.
promoted by the label. I mean, you got the big song that the label wants you to listen to, or the one everyone's supposed to love, the Sweet Cherry Pie, or the big famous bands. But sometimes my favorite bands are the ones that you find in the back, you know, that nobody's really paying attention
Absolutely. The ones that opened up for the ones that had all the money thrown behind them, you know?
Exactly.
And same with the best songs on the album. I mean, even the most popular bands that you could think of, like, once you really dig in and you have a deeper cut into those bands, you're like, wow, there's so much more stuff on those albums that people just ignore.
Yeah.
You know, people will say Ozzy Osbourne, or I think one of you guys were talking about Pantera. I grew up on Pantera. Probably a huge staple in the nucleus of my discovery in rock music. And Pantera is one of those bands that when you first hear about them, everyone tells you about Walk. Everyone tells you about Love. Everybody tells you about those that everybody loves. Drag the Waters and Revolution Is My Name and 5 Minutes Alone. And everybody will run down all the popular ones. But when you get to Sandblasted Skin and The Great Southern Trendkill and Suicide Note, people are like, oh, I don't know about those tracks. And some of those tracks are 10s. Some of those tracks are the best songs in the Pantera catalog, and
I'm gonna go with Cemetery Gates.
see, I'm seeing another guy.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, of course. No, but and those are wonderful songs, and a lot of times the introduction to these great bands, but ultimately there's always more to be discovered.
Exactly. I mean, because you can't just rate a band off of one or two songs. I mean, and that's ridiculous. Especially the record companies push so much money and they pay for radio play, and it's just a big mess. But once you it's got to be harder now.
Smart music too, like smart music takes a while to listen to. Sometimes really great music takes 2 or 3 times to listen to it. You might not hear that cool china in the background. You might not hear the harmony notes on the first listen. You don't know, you're not familiar with all the patch, especially metal, classical, or jazz, or any kind of really intelligent music that's got a lot of combination and rhythm schemes and time signatures. Metalheads, it might take us 2 or 3 times to remember all the lyrics. It might take us spinning the album to really form a deep relationship. And we were talking about discovery. That's why a lot of us can remember the music in our childhood, in our teenage years, because in those years, unlike when you're an adult, the music you listen to is helping shape and form your identity. And music is still a powerful force in an adult life, but it doesn't have the same respects as shaping your identity. It doesn't really matter which group you're in as an adult, because you got bills to pay, and you don't need to explain that shit to anybody. But when you're growing up and you're shaping your identity, the kind of music and the kind of metal and where you go and what you look like really matter, depending on who you are and where you live. And so we can wind up being influenced to like or not like certain things that on the second or third or fourth listen we would really relate to if we were just a little bit more mature.
Yeah. See, so many times everybody's going back and they're like, why did I not get into these guys back then? These guys are fucking amazing.
And I'm one to do it to myself, because all the music that I thought was lame, and all the music that I thought was poser music, and all the stuff that I thought was for wimps, and all the stuff that I trained myself, I thought I knew everything about music. And I'm the oldest in the band at 43, and all the stuff that everybody in the band's in their 20s and 30s, and I'm like the old guy. And the thing is like everything I like now is stuff that I used to make fun of.
Right.
But it's not for rhetorical reasons. I have legitimately and cognitively figured out what I was missing in a lot of this music. And it's like a child. London Bridge is a great song. Happy Birthday is a good song. It's just that, like, when a child is listening to Happy Birthday, and you get older and you go, oh, Happy Birthday, that's a lame song. It's just that at the time when you're learning the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s, your intelligence and your cognitive ear is at a certain emotional depth. Your intelligence is at a certain width and depth that's appropriate for the major scale. In a 1, 2, 3, it's predictable, because the brain needs that to train itself for familiar formulas in the world and the atmosphere. But as you get older, and as you start to be able to shape your identity and learn about the emotional quality and value in music, and you start to become more comfortable with yourself and building confidence in your ear, you start learning a lot of stuff that you thought was lame. It's not even really what you think, and a lot of the stuff you thought were really manufactured ideas of other people you were around, and what your friends or what your girlfriend thought at the time. So yeah, we're liking life a lot more now. Liking things is cool, man.
I remember being a teenager and being like laughing at bad music, just like
right.
Talking about. So
well, I think as adults we gotta remember that we still have the ability to discover. I think that as adults we tend to pretend that time is over, and we get stuck in the everyday, we get stuck in the algorithm, we get stuck in the limits of the internet, we get stuck, we go, oh, the time's the way it used to be and what we used to be able to do. And when you go, well, what have you done to discover something new?
It took till I grew up a bit to start branching out into different genres myself, so
Yep.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys to give us a very brief history of your band, like how you guys got started to where you're at now.
Well, Sepsiss first formed about 13 years ago, thanks to Craigslist.
Craigslist.
So I met him after he posted on Craigslist looking for band members or to form something or join something. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were
Apply.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I hit him up. He answered, and we set up a tryout in Manchester, New Hampshire.
I was like, I'll
Of all
audition you,
places.
and you audition me, and then we'll audition each other, and we're gonna figure this out.
So we decided to form something, after the other girl didn't show up because there was two tryouts.
Yeah, there was another lady that was supposed to. She didn't
She
come.
never showed up.
Yeah.
So I kind of got the spot by default.
Yeah, autopilot.
Yeah, he said, we're starting out with Happy Birthday, go.
Right. Yeah, no, that's how it was.
What are we doing here, right?
Right.
So
We had no plan.
He sent me home with a track that night, and I wrote some lyrics to it and came back with it the next day.
I mean, yeah, we were.
Kind of had a song.
Yeah, we were awful.
But yeah, it doesn't exist anymore today. That particular song.
Damn it.
Oh, it's got to be somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
There might be bits of it.
Time to dig it up and remaster it.
Right.
No, but that's that really is kind of how it was. And we started off as an internet band. I mean, we were really terrible, and we're kind of an internet band. We were known as the Facebook band when we first started out, and at the time that was really uncool. I don't know if you guys know that, but at the time, metal band and stuff like that, it wasn't really acceptable to promote yourself on Facebook. So we were known as the Facebook band, and we played shows too early. We struggled with lineups. We were really something awful.
It's good that we did though, because we got to learn a lot.
We got the crap kicked out of us, and that went on for a while.
We've gone through so many different lineup changes over the years.
Yeah, we didn't know what we wanted to sound like, and at about 2017, 2018, we'd always been kind of a bar, jammy, spammy, internet kind of loud band. I wouldn't say that we were really good, but about 2017, 18, we sat down and we said, what are the chances of us trying to do something remotely professional? Even if we're independent and we're not going, we always knew we didn't want to be an industry band.
Right.
We wanted to be a human band. We wanted to be a people band. When we were younger, we always talked about wanting to be one of those bands that we thought were authentic when we were teenagers. The bands that were all in it for the music, and the bands that prioritized the fans and the people and spoke from the heart. And with the internet, we just saw this portal and this conduit and this opportunity and this time for us to maybe do something like that. And that's our cream, that's our nucleus, and our mission is authenticity and rock and roll and heavy metal for people. We're a non-industry band, so we knew that we wanted to take a path without the industry, and with that is knowing that you're not going to get a lot of help, and it means it meant not only being honest with our fans, but also being honest with ourselves. So with that, we've struggled with a lot of feedback, and originally starting the band in about 2019, we were approached by a producer, Grammy-nominated producer by the name of Glenn Robinson. He worked with Voivod, Queensryche, Gwar, and Jason Newsted, so many others. And they sent us an email, and they were like, look, your music is pretty cool. but it's really not arranged well. And you guys sound like you're really excited, ambitious young people with a lot of talent. You know, you should think about arranging it. And you know, when you hear that, and you're ambitious and young and independent, you kind of get mad.
Well, not to mention, we didn't really believe it was Glenn.
We didn't believe it.
Right.
So the whole time we thought it was, you know, people giving us a hard time. We after a few emails and corresponding it, we found out it really was him. And he said, you know, look, let's work on some real compositions and organize some of this stuff that you guys got and see what to do with it. And you know, since then, we did wind up signing to a small deal, and we've won three. This is 3 awards later. We've been in a couple cool magazines, and we've played for some people, but we're still just people, loving music and loving rock and roll and heavy metal, and we're still a work in progress. I guess that's the best part of the story, is that we haven't made anything yet. We're not.
We just released our first full-length EP.
Yeah, in 2020 was our first real chance taking a swing at it.
Yeah, it's called Almost 11.
Yeah, we've had several singles since then. Once we released a single yesterday, really, also.
Yeah.
So, but we're working on our second album now, and we're playing at Rockfest this year. It's our first larger festival. But this is it. We're just loving rock and roll and playing, and we got a fresh lineup this year, so we got some new guys with us, and we're just having a lot of fun with it.
You just mentioned your new video that came out yesterday. We actually have that queued up, and we're going to play a short clip of it.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I didn't even know. I didn't know if you guys seen it or not, because we didn't do any announcements. We kind of just, you know, we like having fun with the fans, and we've been talking about it for a while, and
I'm following along. I know what's up.
Right on, man. I appreciate that.
Ashton, let's hear that. Romance and Reality.
That's the one.
It's over, just a game, but I'm only ready. So you made up for me. Oh, what a shining music, golden in the blood. It's my style. I'm here before me, dancing all alone in my room.
Just a little teaser.
Yeah, and don't worry, it's not gonna sound that rough as soon as we have it all.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
But
it'll inspire somebody to check it out.
Exactly.
Right.
I was playing that right before everybody got on, and John he goes, that fucking voice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It is absolutely
I'm honored.
no secret to anybody that has watched our show that I absolutely love female-fronted metal bands.
That's amazing.
I absolutely love to hear the voices. That's probably why I listen to all the 80s hair metal, because they sounded like girls too sometimes. So.
You look like it too.
Yeah, sure.
So let's talk about Rockfest, dudes. That's huge, man. Yeah, and you just kind of skimmed over that. Yeah, we're playing this one thing. It's coming up in.
The reason why is really because I haven't been nervous in a while. You know, we've been doing this for quite some time, and the truth is we really do headline most of our shows, and sometimes people make a little bit more of a big deal about us than I would like to make. So I'm used to that, and I'm always trying to remind people, no, like, we're not really a big deal, you know. So this is one of those situations where I'm just completely humbled. The opportunity itself is just magical and rare. You know, there's no industry connections or wild stories. I mean, they just called us up. They said they love the band, they love the podcast, the stuff we're talking about.
Amazing.
and they said they want to give us a shot. And we're always mouthing off about the industry, and when you do that, a lot of people don't want to give you a shot.
Yeah.
So when you get people from the industry, you get people that are involved in these festivals go, no, there are people that like the authenticity, and there are human beings out there that appreciate that we've done our homework, that we're sharing information inclusively, transparently. We're encouraging people to do their own homework, and in true tradition, we've learned so much. If we didn't share that with people, it would be hard to call ourselves professional, because we'd be gatekeepers too.
Something that you also skimmed over is some awards that you just got recently. Didn't you just New England?
Man,
New England Music
this
Awards.
is crazy.
We won Best Hard Rock Metal Act of the Year.
The thing about the New England Music Awards is it's a 6-state regional award. I mean, if it was just, your hometown or something, that would be amazing in itself. The deal with the New England Music Awards is before we started putting out this music, we weren't known for anything. I mean, we were always getting laughed at, and we were just kind of used to it. We got thick skin, but we were always taking punches, and we just kind of wrote ourselves off as the band that just doesn't win.
You're right.
We're the band that, dressed weird and looked different than all the other bands. When we first started, New England's a hardcore place. It's very competitive here. The music's very competitive. I don't care if you play jazz or you rap or you play the fiddle with your toes. If you do it in New England, it's at high pressure. It's high. It's very competitive here. There's garages and there's practice space in New England. So people play the drums and they play guitar here. New England's loud, it's hardcore, and it's fucking cold. And it's competitive. So, I mean...
Especially cold.
It's cold and competitive. No, and people here... Seriously, though, people here know how to play music. I mean, people here, they're music nerds. I mean, and they take their craft, they take the stage seriously, they take their instruments seriously. And New England rock and roll and metal is tough. And when we first started out, I mean, you've got a lot of different stuff happening now with, colorful people and different type of looks and images is a lot more acceptable now. But when we first started, there were no guys that looked like me in the scene. There were no bands that were wearing shiny colors and doing dances in their videos. When we first started, you got beaten up for stuff like that, and and when we first started, you get insulted for stuff like that. When we started, New England metal was hardcore, and
people would just stand there
and we were
all right, show me what you got.
Right, and over time, just being ourselves. I think we love New England, and just being ourselves and playing rock and roll and focusing on playing instruments and not being overly competitive and not letting it get to our heads. For some people, and not everybody, it's won people over, man. And we're not just musicians. Of course, we carry a message, and I think that's resonated with a lot of people that might not even understand the music. They can definitely understand and resonate with the humanity and the message that we present. But New England Music Awards is near and dear to us because at that time in 2019, we didn't think we were going to win. And our fans thought we were going to win, and they fought for us. And everybody did a really good job on that, and it was such a surprise. I'd never won anything in my whole life. I grew up in group homes and on the street and in institutions. I never won anything. And that day, I honestly almost fell over because it was to be acknowledged for something in the New England scene is very hard to do. It's very hard to do. The bands here are so good, and the thing is like we didn't really win any awards because we play guitar better than people. I think that's needs to be understood.
Mm-hmm.
We won the awards because we have a lot of support online. We have a lot of fans that got behind us and people who are familiar with us, and the band really worked their asses off. But the remarkable thing is, after some time, we had released the album in 2020. As you know, the whole world shut down. So we came back. We were really a shattered band. We released an album. Our label shelved us. It was a disaster playing games with the royalties and trying to release new music and arguing with record labels. Something new that I had never experienced, a whole new turn and tier of the music industry I'd never prepared for. And in the midst of that, we had some deaths in the family, so the band was really strained. And we were still releasing music videos and singles, and we came back, and we won it again in 2021.
Nice.
And everything was really a blur. My parents had died. One of our brothers was murdered. It was it was really a difficult time for all of us in the band. The following year was just a whirlwind for us. We'd actually got nominated the following year, and we called the committee and asked them to remove us from the ballot. Because just the stress level of the band and just where we were, like, emotionally in that time. And we had a lot of pressure. We just got done being in Revolver magazine and Source and a whole bunch of other stuff. And success is great when it's well managed, but with deaths in the family and everything like that, we had
a dark time.
Fans had turned on us, and the internet and people feeling like they know you personally. I mean, we go live a lot and we're on social media, but people don't see what happens when it turns off. So they get this idea that they know you because if they're on social media watching you every day and your image is available for them, sometimes it's really hard to distinguish, who you really are personally. And, some of our fans, it was tough emotionally on some of them, and us. And that turn, things just really reached a climax. And we had to repair and recover, as many people did post-pandemic. And we did so. We just returned with a new lineup last spring. We released Bleed Lines. We have a whole bunch of music that we're recording. And in the process of we never let up. We never made any announcements that we were going to make any changes or do anything different. We just kind of stayed the course and stayed healthy and focused on the music and prioritizing the fans that really can recognize what we're doing and the people that have been behind us. And I think now we're in a much healthier place. And we just,
for sure.
and as a surprise, we were nominated for a third time and we won it. Again.
So how does that make you guys feel? Because it sounded like you guys, was listening to everybody else and think that you were a joke, and now 3 times. Come on, that's not a joke.
At first, I'm trained to live it down. At first, I'm trained to live it down, and we had to talk about it before we won. And I said, this time if we win, every time that we've been successful in this band, we've had a success, and then the next day we went to work. And I don't see any problem with that. I think that being in this business, you need more goals than expectations. I hope that makes sense. But we're a goal-orientated band, not an expectation band. So I think at first, our goal isn't to be the best or to make perfect music. Our goal is to prioritize the fans and make the soundtrack of people's lives for the moment. If it's Funky Town that day or it's Sepsiss, we hope that you choose us when that day comes. Yeah. But I think you're supposed to. I think you're supposed to live it down. And this time, I told everybody, no, don't live it down this time. Know how to win. And this time when the band won, I told them they need to win. They need to take a week off, and they need to accept a win. And they're going to go online, and a bunch of haters and people are going to tell you didn't deserve it, and they're going to talk you out of your success, and they're going to say that there's no way possible that you could have achieved this.
Every time.
And because of that, we've always been the type of band to be like, let's not celebrate too much because we don't want to make people upset. And this time I said, fuck that, man. Like this time I really want you guys to go and rest, and I want you guys to be proud of what you did. And don't my band's not the type of band to throw a success in anybody's face. We just don't have the temperature for it. But so much in terms of being online and people's attitude online is not the same way it is in the grocery store.
Right.
And when you see somebody in line at the grocery store, you thank them, you look them in the eye, you shake their hand, and you go about your life. But online, people that should be supporting you aren't the same people who can look you in the eye at the grocery store. So I told these guys this time, nah, man. They wanted to live it down because they're humble and they're sweet kids and they want to get back to work. But I told them they can't live this one down because when you win 3 times in a row, that gives you the authority to feel good about yourself.
Totally agree.
Because you've invested yourself. It's not just that you won a popularity contest. It's a culmination of behaviors and activities that led up to something that if somebody shits on you for that or gives you any slack, it's because when they look at themselves in the mirror, they have a hard time seeing that that's a possibility for themselves. And that's not the reality for this band. This band's been very successful and generous along the way. And I think if it wasn't for my big mouth, most people would know that.
Melissa, I think I have a 2-part question for you. First of all, if I read correctly, you have some hearing challenges.
I do, yeah. So in my right ear, I am practically deaf in that ear, unfortunately.
How does that affect what you're doing on stage?
It can be very difficult, honestly, trying to learn any new music and just like being on stage itself. I try to feel the music more so than hear it because at times, things can kind of blur together a little bit. So sometimes it helps to really like trust my feet, trust the bass, like to keep on time and trust the drums.
It's good to have a bass player that's really in tune.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That is very important. And, just listening to all of it together as much as I can, it does help.
I would call that another success story right there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no shit.
When I read
That's
about
awesome.
that, I was like, man, that's gotta be a rough. Yeah, but
I think at first we had some real challenges with it.
It was very difficult because I had to learn, kind of how to rehear.
When I told you guys we took a lot of slack, and like coming up. That was one of the things, is while we were working with her voice, at the same time she was working with her voice, I was working with my writing and playing. I mean,
and I was training my ear at the same time.
Yeah, and at first it was really hard because when somebody's hard of hearing, sometimes the words can be like slurry or pitchy or trying. So a lot of times, and Melissa was always very loud, but so she would shoot kind of over the note because it was kind of hard to kind of form fit it. And over time, she had to overcome that. And that was very hard because it was hard to hear just the people, the negativity, is hard to deal with at the time. But I think that made you stronger too.
Yeah, for sure.
I absolutely love it. An important question for everybody that's watching: where's your guys' one-stop shop? If they want to find your guys' stuff, they want to find your merch, they want to follow you, what's the way to do that?
The best place is always our website over at sepsiss.com, spelled SEPSISS.com. And you scroll
That's really
now.
good. Thank
This
you.
is awesome.
That's really good.
That's great.
Whoever's doing that is really smart.
You can find our merch here, our tour dates, pretty much everything that we're on. As you can see, we're on like all social media sites, all streaming sites.
Yeah.
We're everywhere.
It helps to be everywhere if you're the social media band.
And one of the things on there that I wanted to discuss as well, since we're saying that, you guys have the Swarm Society thing right there. You have the Hideout, which we actually interrupted tonight for you to come on our show. And I appreciate you guys taking time out of your show to come do ours with us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No problem.
You guys got a cool thing going on.
Thank you. That I appreciate that. So tell us about the Hideout thing. What's up with that?
So the Honeycomb Hideout it's a show about a podcast. So it's not so much a podcast as it is a show about a podcast. Like a podcast is something you listen to, and it is in podcast form. It's available in podcast form, but it's not prioritized as an actual podcast. It's actually a show, and it's a talk show. And it's a talk show about a podcast called the Honeycomb Hideout. And in it,
I don't know why I was confused.
Well, yeah, so it's because it's a live stream.
Uh-huh.
So it's not really a podcast.
Gotcha.
It's more of a conversationalist panel.
Okay, cool.
And it is about topics. It is taking probably some of our biggest mistakes, our roughest moments, our deepest dives, our homework. It's unlocking and talking about some of our most vulnerable moments in the industry. It deals with all the topics that bands hate talking about, all the things that scare the music industry and terrify everybody. We talk about everything from jukeboxes to illegal streaming, piracy, and we dive deep. Like, where did it come from? Who built the technology? We follow court cases. We do huge deep dives. And how did Spotify get built? What is pay to play? And what's the deal with performance rights organizations? We tell people how to write meta and code in their music. We tell people how to find and research collecting mechanical royalties, resource building, open conversation, open source, technology, legal, anything about the music industry that ultimately terrifies anybody will bring up on the Honeycomb Hideout.
So he's got the Honeycomb Hideout, and myself and Lexi Swarm, our merch girl, do this thing called Swarm TV on Sundays.
Which is a live stream.
Which is also much more sepsis related. It's kind of like the sepsis news.
Right. Honeycomb Hideout is like, we do a lot of research and a lot of homework, and then we peer review it through the panel, and then we have a discussion on it, like an opinionated discussion on it, and people can interact a little bit.
Whereas the Honeycomb is more of a podcast talk show. Swarm TV is kind of like the weekly live stream.
Kind of catch up with fans and just like
chat with them and everything.
It's more casual.
Another thing that you guys are doing a lot online, because I've been watching you for a while, you guys are always very, very supportive of other bands posting their stuff to your page to let other people know. Like,
yeah,
absolutely.
I think some people might think that I'm glad you said that, really. Because if folks are just meeting us, they might think that we're a brand new band, or they might think, because it's popular online to say support local or support your fellow. I know that's the thing that everyone's supposed to say. That's the hallmark. That's the tongue-in-cheek. We're all supposed to go support local, dude. But when you ask people to name the last 5 local bands they went to see, they can't do it.
Yep. Agreed.
When you ask, people say, "I'll support local," and you say, "What's the last local restaurant that you went to? Or when's the last local farmer's market that you shopped at?" When you ask people, name the last 3 local artists that you went out to go to support this year. They can't do it.
Yep.
They can't do it. Say, when's the last time that you bought the most underrated, undervalued, most talented artists that are undiscovered by all of us sitting right here? Because those artists are right in your fucking town.
Yep.
Fuck Sleep Token and Sepsiss and Gore and everybody. Fuck them. Go find the most talented bands in your state. Stop looking across the pond. They're right there. When people are like, there's no more music, everybody sounds the same. It's because you can't name 5 regional bands that you support. And then when you name 3 bands that you support, name 3 songs that they sing. So you got to get in. Discovery is not like Spotify. You're not going to put a quarter in it. It's going to suggest you things like Netflix.
Yeah.
You gotta have to get the fuck up. But that's rock and roll. For rock and roll, you gotta get up. And
go discover.
You gotta go discover. The guys that went to go when the gold rush came out, everybody packed up oxen and wagons and they went and discovered it. Most of them came up empty-handed. That's life. That's the same as the music industry. Bands go out there, we try to discover it, and a lot of us come up empty-handed.
That's awesome.
We never went for viral success because we knew that virility comes quickly, and if you don't feed the fire, you go viral, and then you're not.
All right.
So we've always been a band of people, and you mentioned us supporting other local acts. That's because we know what it's like. We know what it's like to take a punch from the beginning, and we promised ourselves that we would always be a band that was approachable by the fans and by the other bands, no matter how big. And we made that's still a promise to this day. If we're still around, we're always going to be approachable. That's a hallmark. That's who we are. That's not a gimmick. And if you've seen us for the first time, it might feel like that because we know that the hallmark is support local. We know how popular that is. We know that sounds really cool in a Reddit. That sounds really popular in a Facebook post. Everybody support everybody. But we know also that in the shadows that's not true. We know that there are prison lunchrooms that are more inclusive than heavy metal because we're in heavy metal. Yeah. And we're not in the industry heavy metal. We're in the real heavy metal on stage. With the bands. So yeah, and it's not all good and it's not all bad. It's just all being a work in progress. We live in a world with accelerated technology. We're all listening and experiencing music differently than our parents did. And if you want to be a band in the future, I don't think you have to survive it, but I do think you have to learn a thing or two about longevity. And if that's any advice I could give, you're not going to find that in becoming viral. So trust and authenticity, more of the story. With the bands is something we really do. We love the bands that we support.
We feel the same way here. We love the bands that we support. And anytime that you guys have stuff that you want to put out to the world, like hit me back up. We'll get you back on here. Or send us a video clip. Oh, speaking of which, God dang it. We're supposed to play another video clip tonight, too. Whoops. We should have done that early. Ashton, do you have that other clip that I sent in the thing? Do you guys, this is a band. Do you have that, Ashton?
Pull it up.
Yeah, this is a band. They just sent me this Monday, and he said, here's a little sneak peek. We're not releasing it until Wednesday afternoon. I said, perfect, because our show's Wednesday night. We'll play a little short clip of it for you.
Oh, really cool.
They are from Mississippi, I believe, and the band is called Malice Jackson.
Let's go.
All right.
Keep talking for me, John. I'm almost there.
Yeah, John, you got anything else to say? Because,
No, that's what happens sometimes. But no, on that, with you having links of other bands on your page, I did spend a night going through the rabbit hole of clicking their links to go check out other bands that way as well.
See?
So,
thank you so much, man. That's huge.
Absolutely a beautiful thing that all those bands were posting. I was like, hey, this is easy. It's like a candy store. I'm like, click this one, click this one, click this one. Let's go.
Yeah, and just the same, like we have some of our groups have tens to 10,000 to thousands of people in them. Feel free to every podcast you guys do, every time you guys have somebody new on, please post it in there. Tag your shows, jump in there, throw your favorite bands in there. Our groups are sponsored and hosted by us, but our groups are for other creators. Our groups are for other podcasts. We love the idea of being one of the only spaces left online where people can do this. We are absolutely encouraging people to do this. We are absolutely encouraging people to share on our groups as much as possible. It's I know it's frowned upon on the internet, but not in our community.
Please promote yourself.
We might be one of the only bands. We can't wait to share our fan base with other bands. I know it seems crazy. We can't wait for people to share their music with our fans. Imagine that. You've never heard that out of a local band before.
No, not at all.
Please
really cool,
take
though.
our fan base. Please play with us. Please. Right.
Really cool.
Ashton, are you ready?
I am ready if you guys are.
He's ready to play that guitar up there, that blue one.
Right. All right, here we go. Maybe.
I like it.
Hi.
Oh yeah. Oh, I like this a lot. Wow, that was great.
I wanted to keep.
Now we're gonna go listen to it.
Right.
Now we're gonna have to go listen to it. You got us, damn it.
Sold.
Now you got us.
I think it was that flip, right?
Whatever you were doing there, it worked.
Right.
Ashton, that was the whole clip, though, right?
That was the whole clip. It's a 31-second clip.
He told me.
Oh, really? I thought you were playing mind games with us. I was over here.
No, that's all I got.
It came out, so you should be able to go get it today out there on the socials. But Des, I told you I'd get that in. I'm glad I remembered before the end of our show tonight, or I would have felt terrible. But there you go. Malice Jack come out as well. Randy normally has our show like edited and posted. Right now we're live with Facebook and YouTube.
Right.
And then we go to Spotify as well.
Spotify, our website, bleachbangs.com. And then I will get it all edited and get everything kind of, take our stupid conversation we had before you guys came on, get all that stuff cut out of there, and then pretty much put it on YouTube. Like you said, it's live right now, but I kind of get a condensed version that's a little bit better, and that it's gonna, all these feeds are gonna all sound a lot better. I know sometimes we're a little spotty right now, but it comes out in the end. So even the video clips are going to come out. Hopefully, I'll have it done tomorrow morning, so we'll be able to.
We will make sure we share it everywhere that we can be found.
I love it.
When he gets it posted, I'll try to remember to send it to you guys as well.
Thank you so
Please
much.
do, thank you.
Thank you guys for having us on too.
We're
Thank y'all
always
for
here
coming
you.
on.
Like, let us know for sure. I'm going to continue to love and follow your page and watch. I usually get little clips of your live feeds. Like, I'm always late or something. I'm like, oh, it's on. I got to go catch part of that.
That's why we have the little we do the little reels. So we'll break up an
There you
episode
go.
into like
There you
6
go.
to 8 different parts, and whatever's really ridiculous, we'll put up there.
Absolutely.
It's not a bad idea.
Man,
Yeah, you guys should do.
Like
You guys could do the same. You guys could do the same thing. I tell every time we do a podcast or an interview with somebody, I'm like, if you guys get like, 30 seconds, 60 seconds of something interesting, it's a nice little business card. You put it in the editor, make it vertical.
Yep.
Put it in portrait mode, and then put some captions on it. This is a helpful little tool.
Because sometimes people don't have an entire hour just to sit down.
You
and
might
watch
say
something.
there might be 30 seconds of something you guys say that locks into somebody, and they watch every episode because they saw the blue guitar in the background and they knew. But now I'm gonna be watching.
That's
I'll
so
watch.
true. Yeah.
And if you guys post in the forum, we'll watch. We'll jump in all the time, and we'll push our people in there too.
That's really cool. We do take some of these clips and we actually make some TikToks out of them. So
That's where it's at. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
We do?
Put it everywhere.
Yes, John, we do. We are on TikTok.
We make a presence over there.
Man, I hope you guys knock them dead at Rockfest. That's absolutely amazing. And just be yourself.
It's a long set. Yeah, it's like a 60-minute. It's an hour set.
What? Holy shit!
It's an hour set. Yeah, we're exercising already. Believe me.
Yeah, right.
I'm so pumped for you guys on your next big shows and stuff. But if you guys come down to the Midwest, you let us know, and we will help you with whatever you need.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
We love the Midwest. We're coming back soon.
Stay in touch, and I think Ashton's probably going to play some outro music to our show.
Right on.
Sometimes we play it, sometimes we don't.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
This time.
I want to be wherever they're at.
Right?
That's the
That
show.
looks
That looks like the show. The venue.
That's the venue.
All right.
Randy, kill the feed.
Kill the feed.
Give him a couple minutes. You know how this goes.
This is the best time. This is when you get the real good TikTok clips when everybody thinks the shit is off. Everybody
for
thinks
real.
it's off and people start getting real. That's when you get them.
See, and that's
It's like, oh shit.
is we say things right after he starts the feed, or we don't realize he didn't kill the feed, and then we're like, oh, shouldn't have said that.
The word, I don't remember what I was doing, but I was shit talking something, and he looked up and he's like, "We've been live for the past
We're
30
live."
seconds." So I went
Right?
straight
Yeah,
to the
right.
live feed. I rewound, and I was like, "The live feed started when I started talking shit." So I'm like,
You were
"Great."
talking shit on Rocklahoma.
What he said was,
That's what it was. I'm like, "Great timing."
and I said, your invite back there.
Yeah, for real. Especially since our photographer shoots for the Rocklahoma book. So I'm like, let's not burn that bridge.
So that got cut out the next day.
Very, very quickly. Yeah, thank God.
So absolutely, guys, seriously, anytime you need something from us, if you want, like, we're here. Like, this is
Right
what
on. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
we
use
just
us.
for fun
Use
because
us.
we love it. We love the music. We love meeting and talking to new people, and we search. I dig through rabbit holes. That's how I find music, and that's
Nah,
Gives
keep
me
rocking with
music
us,
to
man.
listen
We'll
to,
rock
too.
with you, man. We're like a lifetime membership, man. So once you rock with us, we rock with you for a lifetime, man. So just keep in touch, reach out anytime. We're probably the most approachable band on the internet.
I love it.
I love it.
Good stuff.
All right, guys.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Y'all have a good night.